Hey everybody, guess what? It's 2017 and the NFL season is really starting already. It's August 13th. The preseason first week is just about done right now. I think Seattle's kicking somebody's butt. And if you're running a survivor pool, which is something we've been doing here for, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6, I don't know how many years it is, at least 3 or 4. Probably more. And this file helps you run a survivor pool for the office or friends or whatever. It does a lot of automated scoring, and also it helps you pick winners. I've had a success rate of like 75% over the last few years. I get about 75% of them right with this, and I'm working on the file this year. Already made some changes, so let's dig in. So this is really the gist of what you have to have people fill out. And simply pick your winners for all the 17 weeks of the season. You've got a drop down of all the different teams. And you pick them, and it tells you who they were playing in the given week and the time of the game. So here's the thing, though. How do you know who to pick? Well, okay, let's start digging in. For example, what you're looking at here is it's the schedule, and I've done some stat crunching and written a little proprietary algorithm. No, it's not proprietary. I just have fun with it. I wrote a formula trying to figure out percentage-wise what I think the strength of this team of reference is winning the game, right? Now, how did I come up with that? We'll get into that in a second, but just browsing this pivot table here, this data, you've got the whole schedule in here, and I've got other sheets with the statistics in here, but you're just looking at these things here that move around. These things are called pivot slicers. And you can unfilter them by clicking a little, sorry, probably didn't see that. You can unclick this little funnel here at the top, and this thing will unfilter the slicer. And so if you want to look at all the weeks, you could look at the preseason week 1 that's going on right now, which is kind of nice to use this file to look at that, because what this does is this not only shows you the games that were happening, like there's one going on right now, this Seattle game. This shows you all the games with all the teams of reference, so the games are kind of duplicated here when you're looking at this. You can see that by saying, well, you could click the team name from here and just see, Arizona's game when they're the team of reference, but they're playing Oakland. So when you have this unfiltered, you can kind of see the game in both views. Like there's the Arizona game where was apparently, Oakland was, I guess, a 5% favorite to win this game, and Oakland lost the game, because here's, the results are over to the right. The results tell you right here what the actual score was, and Arizona won this game. But preseason anything goes in preseason. But you can shrink this view to kind of get a look at just, one line per game by clicking either a home or away in this home or away slicer. So I'm clicking home, right, to show you just all the home teams of reference, but all the games are in here. Like these are all the week 1 games. There are 15 of them, I guess. Now, this then shows you who the biggest favorites are. Like Patriots would have been a big favorite over Jacksonville. Of course, Jacksonville won because, it's preseason, so who cares? But anyway, this thing tends to work pretty well during the regular season. And I've got things like margin of victory, the difference between the margin of victory. Looking at all of 2016, last year's stats are what we're using right now. As the season progresses, the data and the stats that are being used here in the reference stats I get from ProFootballReference.com, they're a great site to get information from. They have a nice connection. You can connect in and get a table to come out like this with the current updated schedule, so you don't have to do any updated scoring. You just copy and paste this thing in here, or data connected in. I'll probably do a video showing how to do that for people that are using this file. But this is all last year's stats, and this will be populated with the current stats as soon as week 1 ends. So when week 1 ends, we're going to get week 1 in here, and then week 2 we'll be using just week 1's numbers. So the season builds on itself. Now you could go through here. Let's say, like, all right, who do we want to pick in not preseason? We don't care about preseason. Let's care about regular week 1, right? Regular week 1. Here are all the games. And it looks like Atlanta, Pittsburgh are big favorites. And those, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and then Carolina, Indianapolis. And then you'd look over here to say why. like, why are these teams? Atlanta's a big favorite because they had a huge margin of victory in their games last year, and Chicago apparently had a negative margin of victory. So the difference between them is great. Atlanta had 8 more wins than Chicago. They scored 16 more points per game than Chicago. Their offensive rating, hope you guys can see that. Move that over. Their offensive rating was just phenomenal. Defense is, I guess, about the same, their defensive rating. So Atlanta seems like a great pick. Pittsburgh as well. Cleveland had such a terrible year, and Cleveland's defense is awful. So these are 2 really solid picks in week 1, and then I don't know about the situation. Of course, things change. We're looking at 2016 stats. But let's say that I like Atlanta in week 1. How about week 2? Go over here to week 2. Week 2, of course, this will look different after week 1 happens, but Patriots are huge. Skins over the Rams. Why would the Skins ever be a huge favorite over anyone? And then it looks like Baltimore is a huge favorite over Cleveland. You can see this when you flip it around and you say, what does it look like from the away team point of reference? Because you can kind of look at this when you're picking, like, do I like picking home teams or I like picking away teams? Well, what about my away teams? Then it shows you the flip side of that. See, that's a Baltimore 73% favorite because it's a 73% or negative 27, right? Baltimore is a 73 over Cleveland, and Cleveland is a negative 80 over Baltimore. Now, interesting, the numbers are not exactly the same positive and negative because it's comparing to the max of all the others. So it's interesting. You really should look at it in the full view of away and home. Because that's interesting that it does that. I never really checked that before. I wonder why. I think it's comparing to all the available games. That's why it's set up for a survivor pool so that you have these games to pick from. So which is your best pick? That's how the percentage comes out. It's not necessarily saying that Seattle's a 78% favorite. It's saying Seattle is, if 100% would be a lock, and the best, if a team wasn't showing up and it was going to be a forfeit, it would be like 100% that team was going to win. 78% chance that Seattle is going to win based on the other games, right? So it's really the best chance of all of them. And Baltimore's next. So yeah, this gets really fun. Now, as you pick your teams, let's do this as fast as we can. Angle the teams that are never going to win. Could really go through here and figure out exactly what the best pick is. Maybe I'll do that in a later video. I plan on doing a video every week. I think I might have some sponsors lined up this year. We have a lot of interest in getting your emails. So really wanted to put this thing out. If you end up accidentally picking a team twice, let's see, maybe I'll do it by accident here. If that happens, then it's going to go red. Yep, boom, it just did. So we can't be Miami twice. Can't be Minnesota twice. Can't be New Orleans. Oh my God! Please stop doing this. Okay. LA Chargers. Get used to saying that. Gosh, who wants to? Not me. Did we do Carolina? Okay. So assuming that was a pick, right? What do you do now? You have someone's pick. You email them out this file, and you told them to make their picks, or maybe they make their picks 1 week at a time. Whatever. You got to copy this information into a entrance pool sheet here. So say that this is Ken's entry. You type Ken in there, and then the winning team picks are going to come right from the pick sheet. So all you have to do is just paste them, copy, and paste them. Or you can even choose them if they send them to you one at a time. So say you're playing with Wolfie, and Wolfie's like, all right, I got I want Baltimore in week 1, and then they call you week 2 later. You can just, when they call you, you just go here to the file and pick whoever it was, right? And then when the games actually happen, this is all going to update because this win-lose thing changes when we update the stats in here every week. And we go to our data sheet, and we go down to say, let's go look for week 1 here. We go to week 1, and we get to type in the score of the game. So the Baltimore game, say Baltimore beat Cincinnati, right? then you'll see in the entrance pool that game is going to have a result. It actually just happened. I'm pointing at it. It's right here. It's a win for Wolfie, and so you're going to see win points for Wolfie. There's going to be wins and losses, and then I can change this pivot table around for you to show you how to really score this thing, depending on how your elimination strategy works. So this thing is super cool and a lot of fun, and it's only going to get better. I'm going to do more work throughout the season on these formulas for margin of victory, wins, defensive, offensive rating. I'm going to do some things with, I think, yards, and I really want to try to add as much as I can into this algorithm, into this formula, different weights on different categories here right now. I'm kind of splitting it pretty evenly among victories, wins, and like 10-20% for each thing here. But we can really mess with this and try to back into something that's more reliable, if any of this ever matters. But it's fun, and a lot of people I know play the survivor pool, and I think it's a great thing to do. So you'll see more videos coming from me. If you want one of these, look at the description. I'm going to have emails and links in there. So I'm out for now, and enjoy the 2017 season.